Hey everyone, Liam here and welcome to this match preview and prediction for match between Holger Rune and Casper Ruud in the quarterfinals of the 2025 Barcelona Open. Let's get into it. Before we get into the video, as always, if you enjoy the content on the channel, please like and subscribe. Really helps us grow the quality shot tennis community. Well, we've got the battle between Casper Ruud and Holger Rune, a matchup that everyone likes to see on court just because of the fact of the way their relationship sort of started building was at the beginning wasn't the most friendly way, and it's evolved since then. They've become much more amicable with each other, and some might say even friends. But it's one of those matchups which is always interesting to watch because although the head-to-head does say 6-1 for Casper Ruud, it's one of those matchups which, if Holger just manages to turn that switch on and just finds his top level, he can win this match. Coming into this one, of course, Holger did have to retire in Monte Carlo with an illness, and he's not been really playing his absolute best tennis recently. You would say he's had a few bugs here and there throughout the early part of this season. So hopefully he can find that sort of consistency and rhythm going forward that just allows him to actually play matches to the best of his ability. In the second round, obviously, playing against Sebastian Baez is never going to be an easy match. It's one of those matches. Of course, you say, oh, okay, well, it's Holger Rune. He's a Master 1000s champion. He's been top 8 in the world, top 5 in the world. One of those players who should be winning those matches. But going against Sebastian Baez is never going to be easy because he's just a clay court. I wouldn't say expert, because the clay court expert is Rafa Nadal, but he's a clay court guy. He lives on the clay. So, he won that first set against Holger 6-4, and then Holger sort of finally switched on and started finding his rhythm and won the next 2 sets quite comfortably. But he can't really allow himself to do that too much, especially if he's not in his best shape physically. He doesn't want to spend too much time on court trying to fight back in these matches. Will he be able to sort of take the lead against Casper Ruud quite early on? It's quite difficult to say. Casper did play a very solid second round match against Medjedovic, and Medjedovic is one of those players who he has the potential. He's not quite found the sort of consistency week in and week out to sort of showcase his ability. But he's got all the things that he needs. He's got solid serve, really good forehand, consistent backhand, and his movement is great as well. I think he's one of those players who's well rounded in terms of his skill set. He just needs to find that rhythm continuously throughout the season. Of course, he had that hamstring issue from Dubai, but he's coming back into it, and hopefully throughout the clay court season he can do something. But getting back to Casper Ruud, he managed to get through a tight win there, straight set 7-5, 7-5. One of those matches where a few points here and there really decided it, and Casper was he was able to just stay composed, keep himself on his toes and moving quickly because Medjedovic was making him run from side to side on the court. And it's one of those matches, I think, which he probably will be grateful to have had this match before coming into this quarterfinal against Holger Rune, because I don't think Holger will move him as much as Medjedovic did. I think Holger will make him potentially think a little bit more tactically, but I think, in terms of showcasing the fact that he's got the movement, he's got the rhythm, he's going to be fine. Coming into this one, as I said earlier, it's a head-to-head of 6-1 in favor of Casper Ruud. Most of their matches have been on clay. The only one match that Holger did win was, I believe, in Rome, when he went on to then beat Novak Djokovic and then I think lose to Daniel Medvedev in the final, if I'm correct. But then they faced at Roland Garros a few weeks later, and when a push came to shove in a bigger tournament, Casper Ruud won that one, I believe, in 4 sets. So coming into this one, I would say if Holger hadn't had such a tough start to the season in terms of his physicality, just his overall game, and some bugs that he's had here and there, I would say he probably had a good chance coming into this one, because Casper's not really been at his absolute best in terms of since the last year. But I think coming into this one, Casper, defending champion here, has the confidence on these courts. Showed a great matchup against Medjedovic. I think he's got what he needs to win this match. Probably going to be a tight one nonetheless. I think it's not going to be like a 6-1, 6-2. I think it'll probably be a 3-set match where Casper Ruud gets himself the win and gets himself into the semi-finals.